Recording in progress.
Good morning, it's 9 o'clock and I'm going to call to order this meeting at Sweetwater City Council for June 10th. And we'll ask James Forrest from Lamar Street Baptist Church to give our invocation. Councilmember Castro will lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Please pray with me. Father God, thank you so much for this morning. I thank you for the moisture, the rain that you provided for us. May it be plentiful for us, Lord. May we just be abundant, just be glad in abundance of the joy that you give us, the love that you show us whenever we're so unappreciative, Lord. Lord, I just ask for you to please be with the men and women that represent this city. May they do everything according to your will and just do everything in justice according to the governments of the law. Lord, thank you again for allowing us to be here today to just do our due diligence in order to just love on each other, just to love this city, and more importantly, just show Jesus through us, Lord. Lord, again, thank you so much. Thank you for sending your son to die on the cross. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
Okay. Starting with item number 4 is to discuss, consider, and act upon approval of the minutes for the meeting held on May 13th of this year.
Make a motion to accept, consider and act upon approval of minutes for the meeting held on May 13th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Item 5 calls for public input. At this time, anyone is allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for the length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No council discussion or action may take place on the matter until such matter has been placed on an agenda and posted. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Moving on to item 6, which is to discuss and consider and act upon entering into an agreement with Tommy Morris Agency to act as our broker of record for insurance purposes and to evaluate competitive sealed proposals for self-insured group health benefits to be considered at the council's July 8th, 2025 meeting. Do you have any questions of staff?
My only issue with this is not questioning the integrity of the Tommy Morris Agency at all, but if we just use one agent all of the time, we're probably not going to get a really good idea of what is out there in the market as far as health insurance is concerned. So that would be my discussion at this point. I'm not in favor of doing this year after year after year.
Any other comments? Nancy, would you care to respond?
Well, I think I understand where Mr. Pearson's coming from. You need someone who understands the insurance industry to analyze any bids that you do get. And so if you just open these bids, you can't expect your own staff to be able to analyze it because there's a lot more to it than that. And I think we try to get bids from as many carriers as we can to look at, what's out there for you. But I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
Have you ever had a competitor submit a bid to you?
Oh, yes, TAC has multiple,
You ever had an independent, how about an independent agency?
Yes, we have like on life insurance and dental and vision, some of those. We haven't ever had an independent agency on health, but we've actually given out some information. We're willing to give as any information they want.
I just think, I'm not technically in the industry any longer per se, but I think a competitor of yours would not submit a bid to you. That's what I think. So
Well,
that's,
they don't submit it to us, they submit it to the city, but we do give them the information that they use to be able to generate the bids, but we give them the same information that we have, so we're not withholding information from anybody, and you have gotten competitive bids before.
I've made my piece on it, so.
Any further discussion?
When you get those other bids, do you present that to the city manager?
They comes to you first, so they don't come to me, they come, well, some of them go through me, like the incumbent carrier of Blue Cross. I get that, I see that also, but I don't ever see the other ones until you see them. And then y'all give them to me, and I take them home, and I go back to my office, and I spread them and do all of that. And we discuss them between the city manager and Lisa, and I think Krista's involved sometime. And and then we come back with we tell you everything about all of them, and you get to see all of them, and we'll give you a spread of them and what they all look like and how they compare. And then the city council can make their decision on which one they want. But yeah, you certainly see all of them, and you get them before I get them. You get them the day before you give them to me.
Any further discussion? Do I have a motion from the council?
I'll make a motion, we act upon enter into an agreement with Tommy Morris Agency.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Me.
Okay, motion is approved. Item 6, which is to discuss and consider and act upon approving a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sweetwater, Texas, directing publication of notice of intention to issue combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation and resolving other matters relating to the subject. And I believe we're going to hear from Andrew Friedman. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Barely.
Barely. This is Andrew Friedman with Samco Capital Markets, financial advisor to the city. Before you this morning for consideration is a notice of intention resolution, which is the first legal step for the city to borrow money through certificates of obligation. The city's gone through this many times in the past, where you adopt a notice of intention resolution. That notice of intent lays out what the proceeds of the certificates of obligation will be spent on. In this case, it's equipment for both EMS and fire truck. It states a not to exceed amount, in this case of $2 million, a maximum interest rate, and a maximum term of the financing. Once that is published in the newspaper and on your website for 46 days, the council can consider adopting a sale resolution pricing those COs. You all should have a timetable before you that if you decide to move forward this morning, we would be back at your August 12th meeting with bids in hand for you all to consider. That would include the best and lowest interest rate received from bidding out these certificates of obligation, at which point we would also have your certified taxable value, so we would know the full tax impact of the borrowing with certainty at that point. And assuming that you all award the sale of those COs on August 12th, the money would be delivered August 28th or thereabouts into the city bank. You can enter into any purchase agreements, although I think we've already may have already done that to this point. And so with that, the other item, we've worked with city staff looking at your preliminary taxable values for the year and what the tax impact of these certificates of obligation would be. We're amortizing the fire truck right now over 15 years and the ambulance over a proposed 5 years. Sold together in a single certificate of obligation to create economies of scale, so we're not doing multiple financings, but we also want to match the useful life of each asset with its proportion of debt service, so that we're not paying for a piece of equipment long after its useful life. Certainly fire trucks are in service for even greater than 15 years. My understanding is you all expect to have that equipment in service for at least 15, the ambulance for at least 5. And at this time, we would expect the tax rate, the INS portion of the tax rate to potentially go up about 3.5 cents as a result of this. Early days, because we've only got preliminary taxable assessed values at this point, so we don't know where our values certify. We don't know, due to compression from Senate Bill 2 a few years ago, how much the M&O rate may be compressed down, but ultimately offset, how much the total tax rate may increase, and we will learn more about that as the ARB process is concluded by the end of July and before we sell these certificates of obligation. So with that, I'm happy to answer any and all questions that you have. But again, this is the first legal step necessary for us to begin that sale process and ultimately deliver funds for the acquisition of the fire truck and ambulance.
Can you,
Yeah, you should.
did you say that you were gonna do it for up to $2 million? I didn't
Yes.
hear the very
Yes,
first
yes,
5
ma'am,
minutes.
that's the not to exceed amount. Now, given further direction from you all or city administration, if before we get to the pricing date of those bonds, we're directed to borrow less than that $2 million, we certainly can. This sets forth a not to exceed amount, meaning that, a month from now, we can't decide that, well, we actually wanted to borrow $2.5 million. We can't borrow more than the $2 million set forth in this resolution at this point.
Okay, and so this interest rate, or this 3.5 cent, that is based on a 2 million, or with the actual 1.5?
That's based on $2 million.
And that's an increase from our current 3-cent tax rate.
Yes, ma'am. Going from about 3.1 cents to about 6.5 cents on the INS rate.
You have any further questions?
I don't.
Andrew, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Do I hear a motion from the council?
Make a motion, we act upon approving the resolution of the city council of the city of Sweetwater directing publication of notice of intention to issue combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation and resolving other matters related to the city.
Second. Any further discussion? Then go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion is approved. I'll read it into the record. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Sweetwater, Texas, directing publication of notice of intention to issue combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation and resolving other matters related to the subject. Moving on to item 6C, which is to make a motion to consider taking an item off the table that was tabled at the May 13th, 2025 meeting, and to discuss, consider, and act upon appointing a new member to the Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development Municipal Development District Board of Directors to fill the unexpired term of former board member David Vela. Do I hear a motion to remove this from the table?
Make a motion, we remove this from the table.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this matter is now back before the council. Do I hear any nominations for Seed Board membership?
I'll nominate Krista.
We have a nomination for Krista Konecki. Any further nominations? Okay.
Did you know you were going to be nominated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, there's really nothing to vote on, but I'm going to go ahead and ask for all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, Krista.
Thank you,
You'll
sir.
you'll do us a good job. Thank you. Item 6D, to discuss and consider and act upon orders declaring structures on described properties within the city of Sweetwater to be dilapidated and or deteriorated and unfit for human habitation so as to require repair, rehabilitation, or demolition, providing a time with which to rehabilitate, repair, or demolish such structures, and providing for the repair, rehabilitation, or demolition and removal, which requires a public hearing for each property. At this time, Samantha Morrow, City Attorney, will swear in Bester Munyardzi and Robert Soto, Code Enforcement Officer, for their testimony regarding these properties.
Do you both solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter pending before the city council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion to open public hearing for the property at 505 Elm Street?
I move we open public hearing.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman McPherson and second by Councilmember Boyles. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're now in public hearing. Okay.
At this point, good morning, Council.
Good morning.
We are asking the City Council to consider these properties to be demolished because of their condition for the safety and health and welfare of the community. So that's the request that is before you.
And could we hear specifically about the property at 505 Elm?
505 Elm, it's, as you can see, it's just at one time was a storage building, and they just, because property owner just abandoned it. First letter was sent out, came back responsible for the property owner, so we give them an additional 10 days. We sent them a second letter for the substantive council, as you can see they're out here today, so we're requesting for that to be removed.
Is there anyone else here who wants to speak to the property at 505 Elm? Okay. Do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion. Second?
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Public hearing is now closed. Do I hear a motion for declaration of dilapidation and or deterioration unfit for human habitation and order repair, rehabilitation, or demolition of 505 Elm Street within 35 days of date of order?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So that is approved. Can I hear a motion to open public hearing for property at 205 West Alabama?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor of opening public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're now in public hearing to address property 205 West Alabama Avenue.
Again, this is another property where we have sent out the letter, the 30-day letter, no response, and then the 10-day letter, no response. And for this property, our thoughts are that maybe it can be rehabilitated because of the, as you can see, that is a stone home, and we think it can be rehabilitated.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak to this property, 205 West Alabama? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do I have a motion for declaration of dilapidation and or deterioration and unfit for human habitation in order repair, rehabilitation, or demolition of 205 West Alabama Avenue within 35 days of the order?
Make a motion,
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion is passed. I'll entertain a motion to open for public hearing for property at 115 Fisher Street. I hear a motion to open public hearing.
I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of entering public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are now in public hearing to address property at 115 Fisher.
This property here is, as you can see, it's not secured, windows are out, roof's caving in. Property owner received actually called, said they were gonna do something with it, and nothing has been done. And that's what the first letter that was sent, and I believe that one there. Yeah, she received the first letter, and she called and was asking for time to get it tore down, and that's been, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and nothing's been done. So, second letter was sent for this meeting as well, and so that's why we're requesting for it, because there's no response from the property owner of doing anything with it.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak to this property? If not, then I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do I have a motion for declaration of dilapidation and/or deterioration and unfit for human habitation or over repair, rehabilitation, or demolition of 115 Fisher Street within 35 days of order?
I'll make a motion, we accept the recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now move on to item 6E, which is to discuss and consider and act upon a resolution setting a public hearing for the date of July 8th, 2025 at the City Council meeting to consider the abandonment of city streets and alley right-of-ways as described. A portion of undeveloped street right-of-way between lots 7 and 8 of the Sweetwater Industrial Park Addition recorded in Plat Cabinet Slide 234A, Plat Records, Nolan County, Texas. Does the council have any questions for Bester? Okay, you get off easy. Okay. Do I hear a motion we are setting
Make a motion that we
Establish a public
set
hearing.
public, establish a resolution to set the public hearing for July 8th, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion is approved. Read it in the record. A resolution to schedule a public hearing on July 8th, 2025 for the City Council of the City of Sweetwater, Nolan County, Texas, for the purpose of consideration of abandonment of undeveloped city street right-of-way described as a portion of undeveloped street right-of-way between Lot 7 and 8 of Sweetwater Industrial Park Addition recorded in Plat Cabinet Slide 234A, Plat Records, Nolan County, Texas. Going to now move on to 6F, which is to discuss and consider and act upon adopting a resolution designating a grant administration service provider and an engineering service provider for grant pre-application, application, and implementation services for the City of Sweetwater 2025 through 2026. Community Development Grant Program is administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture. Does anyone have any questions for Justin? Justin, what can you share with us?
So this is for a grant totaling $750,000 for water line replacement. Phase 1 was the application process. We submitted that application and we ranked number 3. So we qualified for phase number 2, which is for project submittal. We received the request for proposals for administration and request for qualifications for engineering. After review and grading of these proposals, city staff is recommending grant works be awarded for grant administration and Improtech Hibbs and Todd be awarded for the engineering.
What kind of grant is this? Is this a match percentage grant?
So it's going to be $750,000, and we'll have to match that 15%.
15%.
Yeah, it'll be $112,500.
Do I have a motion from the council?
I make a motion we adopt the resolution designating a grant administrative service provider and an engineer service provider for a grant pre-application, application, implementation services of the City of Sweetwater 2025-2026 Texas Community Development Grant Fund Program as administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approves. I'll now read it into the record. The resolution of the City of Sweetwater, Texas, authorizing the award of professional service provider contracts for the 2025 through 2026 Texas Community Development Block Grant Community Development Fund Project. Item 6G, we will discuss and consider and act upon awarding a construction contract for Union Pacific Railroad water line replacement.
Yeah, so this is for the 10-inch water line bore under the Union Pacific Railroad tracks off of Robert Lee Street. We had a leak under the railroad track several years ago, and we've had this section of line isolated ever since. And we'd really like to get this feed back going. It's one of the main feeds to the north side of town. So we put this out for bid. We got 2 bids. One was Fambro Construction totaling $215,860, and then Curtis Companies totaling $368,505. City staff, we're recommending to go with the low bid and award Fambro Construction the contract. Any questions?
Move we approve the bid for replacing the water line.
I'll second the motion.
Are we going to specify a fund? It was recommended Fambro by staff.
Because the staff recommended Fambro Construction.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion approved. Item 6H, we will discuss and consider and act upon approving an updated water supply contract between the City of Sweetwater and the City of Trent.
Yeah, so the current 40-year contract for the sale of water between the City of Sweetwater and the City of Trent has expired, and it's been renewing on a monthly basis. This is the newly proposed 20-year contract that will replace the old contract.
Is there an increase in fees or anything, or it's the same?
So the fees are the same, but within the contract, anytime that we have any rate changes, the City of Trent will have those rate changes as well.
Any other questions or discussions? I hear a motion.
I make a motion we approve updated water supply contract between the City of Sweetwater and the City of Trent.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion is approved. And,
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. It's time for a city manager's report.
Okay. Sparks in the Park is quickly approaching. The Chamber is still looking for sponsors for the 2025 fireworks show that will be Friday, July 4th. Please call the Chamber if you would like to make a donation. And it's an amazing event, so anything helps. If you have any donations, please contact them. SNAP has started their summer fan drive. It's hosting the fan drive to help seniors beat the heat. Here in West Texas, your donation, big or small, can make a big difference. Let's come together as a community to support our seniors and help them stay safe and comfortable during this summer. Drop off donations at 1701 Elm, and they're open from Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. And then we have Rock the Block coming up on June 14th, which is always a great event. It'll be from 7 to 10 p.m. It's the 8th annual Downtown Rock the Block. There will be live music, shopping, street dancing, and food trucks. So take your lawn chairs and your family and friends and come out and join everybody for a good time.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that concludes business. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second? Okay. Have a motion second. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. And the meeting is adjourned.